Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are putting on our inspector vision glasses to master genuine good manufacturing practice readiness. We aren't just going to recite rules here, we're going to learn how to look at your site exactly the way a seasoned regulator does. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's kick things off by looking at two very different realities. On one hand, you have genuine, everyday readiness. This is where your quality system is just humming along daily, records are completed as you go, and issues are spotted and fixed routinely. But on the flip side, you've got what we call inspection theater. You know the drill. The frantic, stressful cleanup the week before an auditor shows up, backfilling records, sweeping problems under the rug. Well, spoiler alert, an experienced inspector sees through that theater in minutes. You simply can't fake a true state of control on demand.
Section 1. The hit list. Common GMP deficiencies.
So before we hit the manufacturing floor, let's take a look at the regulator's most wanted list. It really puts the stakes into perspective. Looking at the top FDA 483 themes, the #1 culprit is quality unit procedures. Regulators are constantly finding that quality units either don't have the responsibilities written down, or worse, they just aren't following them. Right behind that, you see a massive number of citations for dropping the ball on investigating discrepancies and out-of-specification results. Look, if your standard operating procedures aren't current, available, and actively used by your team at the point of operation, you're literally walking into a trap.
And that brings us to a crucial rule. Never, ever conflate a deviation with an OS or an OT. They are not the same thing, and each one demands a highly specific handling path. A deviation? That's a departure from your approved procedure. An OS, or out of spec, means a result strictly fell outside your registered limits. Meanwhile, an OT, or out of trend, means your result is technically passing, but it's totally atypical compared to your historical data. If you blur the lines between these three, it screams weak quality system, and inspectors will hone in on that instantly.
Section 2. The Jumbo Walkdown. Surviving the factory floor.
All right, let's step out of the theory and onto the actual facility floor. When an inspector walks your floor, they're hunting for things that are out of place. Genuine housekeeping is not some performance you put on for visitors. It means your work areas are pristine, cleaning statuses are actually current, and there's absolutely zero unexplained residue lying around. If an auditor spots unexplained materials or sees employees playing fast and loose with contamination controls, they know right away that good practice isn't a daily habit there.
Now contrast how you handle your records. A truly ready state means official logbooks are out, and folks are making live, real-time entries right at the exact time and place the activity occurs. It's legible, it's attributable. But that other way, using loose scrap paper with the intent to write it up later at the end of the shift, that is a massive finding waiting to happen. It completely destroys the core concept of contemporaneous record keeping. You just can't do it.
Same goes for status labeling. Every single item on your floor has to have an unambiguous status label. And I mean using clear words, not just colors. A green tag might mean clean to one operator, but released to somebody else. And that ambiguity is completely unacceptable. You need to use specific words, clean, in use with the specific batch ID, quarantine, or released. The physical reality on the floor has to perfectly match your maintenance and cleaning records. No guessing allowed. Okay, let's test that inspector vision of yours with a real-world scenario. Imagine an auditor is arriving in 10 minutes. A supervisor panics and begs you to backdate a log and slap a released sticker on a quarantined vessel just to dodge a finding. What's your move? You absolutely refuse. Look, an honest quarantine label is just part of the process, but slapping a false released label on it, that's outright falsification and serious misconduct. Trying to conceal a gap doesn't fix it. It morphs a simple operational mistake into a critical GMP violation. You have to correct the true status honestly, resolve the quarantine through the proper channels, and definitely escalate that supervisor's request.
Section 3. The Paper Trail. Telling the batch's true story.
Leaving the physical floor, let's talk about the paper trail. Because your batch record, that's the only accepted proof that your process was actually in control. A compliant batch record tells a complete, contemporaneous story. Every single signature is captured live as the work happens. No missing steps, no skip checks. It's fully reviewed and approved by the quality unit. And crucially, if there's any discrepancy, it gets fully investigated and resolved before anyone makes a disposition decision on that batch.
Here's another trap for you. Say you're reviewing a batch record and notice a missing in-process check signature. But the final product results from the lab are stellar. They pass every single spec perfectly. Can QA just go ahead and release the batch?
The answer is unequivocally no. Strong final test results do not magically cure an incomplete record. You must formally investigate that gap, and whatever you do, never let someone go back and sign it from memory days later. Without that original signature, there is zero proof the check actually happened, and back-signing is falsification. Investigate and resolve the gap first, always.
Section 4. Inside the microscope. QC laboratory readiness.
Let's head into the quality control lab. This area is a huge magnet for auditors because it generates your release-critical data. When you get an out-of-specification result, you have to follow a very strict step-by-step path, saving absolutely every piece of raw data. First, you get the OS. Then, you immediately kick off a lab phase investigation to check for clear analytical errors. If you don't find one, you escalate to a full manufacturing investigation. Finally, you reach a disposition and implement your corrective and preventative actions. You've got to be ready to walk an inspector through this exact flow using a real OS example.
True laboratory readiness is kind of like a house of cards. Every single result you report must trace directly back to a specifically qualified analyst, a valid method, and an in-date reference standard. Think about it. If the analyst wasn't qualified or the method wasn't validated for that specific use, your final data is completely worthless. Plus, you have to prove system suitability was met before you accepted any results with full traceability down to the very reagents used.
All right, let's look at a super dangerous lab scenario. You hit an OOS result. A colleague leans over and quietly suggests you just test the sample a few more times until you get a passing number, and then just report that passing average. What do?
You immediately trigger a formal OS investigation. Testing into compliance, or trying to average away a failing result to hide it, is a massive critical violation. You have to retain all data. You can't just cherry-pick the numbers that make the batch look good. That is a severe breach of GMP, and it will trigger major regulatory action against your site.
Let's try one last lab scenario. What if an analyst skips the retest, but instead decides to manually reintegrate a chromatography curve on the software? They just nudge a failing result over the pass line, and they do it without documenting any scientific reason. How bad is that? It's incredibly bad. While manual integration can sometimes be scientifically valid, doing it just to force a passing outcome without documented justification and without a second-person review is straight-up data falsification. And here's the kicker. Your chromatography systems have audit trails turned on. Audit trails catch everything. An inspector will absolutely ask to review them to spot this exact kind of forced manipulation.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to look around your facility today and ask yourself one final critical question. If an inspector walked onto your floor right now, totally unannounced, what story would your records and your physical facility tell? Would they see the frantic scramble of inspection theater or the quiet, confident hum of genuine readiness? The choice and the control is entirely yours. Keep building those systems and stay ready.